Beautiful day. Sky falling, feeling like it's a beautiful day. We're getting
All right, let's begin. I want to start with this question. Are you happy at your job? Yes. But please don't answer yet. Just feel the question, taste it, embrace the question, hold your answer, because the answer to that question might not be the one you're expecting for, right? I started my career in the marketing world over 20 years ago. And you might be thinking, what? How is it possible that you've been working for more than 20 years? You look like you're in your 20s, man. Well, thank you. If you think that, thank you so much. Truth be told, I'm 39. In fact, I'm turning 40 next week, so wishing you well. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Anyways, I started my career in the marketing world, and my job always was to make people fall in love with the brands. You know, their products, their services. And in order to do that, I needed to know very well what's happening inside the brands, the core business, their values, their culture. And the more I got closer to the culture of the companies, the more I found that those brands we were trying to fall in love with, those products we were trying to sell, were made by the hands of people that didn't love their job at all. In fact, they hated their jobs. How can someone fall in love with a brand that even their own employees don't like it? So I realized that my job and my entire career were a lie. And it might sound like a bad thing, but you know, it was one of the best 3 things that has ever happened to me. One of them, of course, is my beautiful wife over there. I think it's the most important, so say hello, babe. Yeah, it's because of her that I'm here, so thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you so much. Now we're talking. So I had a revelation, an epiphany. My job went from making people fall in love with the brands to help companies, to help their employees fall in love with their jobs. Some beautiful purpose fall into place, which is build a better world, creating the best places to work. That's our company, Welu. Then the big question popped up. What is happiness at work? What does it mean to fall in love with your job? Of course, I didn't know the answer back then. We made a list with all the people we thought who could help us to answer that question. We started to make some calls, send a lot of emails, send a lot of texts, and you will not believe the answer we received. None. No one replied. And why would they? Who is this guy asking for an interview anyways? Despite that, we kept going, we kept asking, we kept sending emails, sending invitations, and eventually the right people started to show up. One of them was, of course, Lucia, who gave us a lot of powerful learnings about happiness and how can we apply it to the work environment. Thank you for that, Luis. We spent 5 years, plus 5 years, traveling the world asking HR leaders, HR experts, consultants, influencers, CEOs, leaders, everyday people, what is happiness at work? And after 15 countries, hours of interviews and video, we made some amazing discoveries about what is happiness at work. You guys want to know what we found? So we discovered that we as humans have 2 main sources of happiness. The psychological source and the biological source. The psychological source is what we call learned happiness. It comes from all the unique experiences that we all have been living through. That's why we all in this room have a different meaning of happiness. It's what we learned from our parents or siblings, relationships, school, work, media, social media especially. Psychological happiness is what the world has told us about it. And then we have the biological source, which is happiness by nature's design. It's what nature has written in our DNA for us to be happy. These chemicals in our body neurotransmitters, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, cortisol, endorphins, all these cocktails of hormones running through our system, telling our body the very nature's definition of happiness. You know, both sources can complement and influence each other, but what we found is that emotional and hormonal impulses can overtake logical reasoning and psychological thoughts, hormones over neurons. Because you can always change the way you think, but you cannot change the way your body system works. We had the opportunity to give a speech at Harvard University to share some of our learnings, and there we met the Harvard study of oil development and the amazing work of Robert Waldinger. And what this plus 8-year study tells us is that happiness for the human being doesn't come from power, money, houses, or cars. The true happiness for the human being comes from the way we interact with each other, the bonds we develop with those around us. The true meaning of happiness from a biological perspective, it's all about relationships, connection, that bond you develop with the ones you love, with your friends, with your parents, with the society. That's what develops the true meaning of happiness for our body, for our systems, right? So how does this apply to the work environment? We discovered that in the work environment we have three kinds of relationships. One, the relationship we have with our boss. Two, the relationship with our coworkers. And three, the relationship with ourselves, our very own mindset. These three kinds of relationships can help us to build a happier and healthier work environment. Why? Because I cannot feel happy at work if I feel my boss hates me, or my team hates me, or I hate my boss, or I hate my team, or I hate my job. We need to build strong relationships inside work in order to be happy, because as we know, happiness starts with relationships. I met this CEO who runs a big pharmaceutical company, a pharmaceutical store actually in Colombia. And he called us because he wanted us to help him with some big leadership problems he has inside the company. He told us that the company has been growing so fast that they didn't have the time to develop leadership skills inside their teams. As a consequence, they have some boss in a store who has this big megaphone. And whenever someone comes late to work, this boss takes his megaphone and screams, "You've been late to work again. My office, now." In front of customers, employees, and whoever is around. You know, public ridicule at its worst. Smith comes to see his boss's office, and the boss says, "Smith, you've been coming late to work for 3 days in a row. If you come late tomorrow, you no longer work here." You know, clearly this boss doesn't know what's happening inside Smith's life. Maybe Smith didn't have money to come to work this morning, and he spent the morning borrowing money from some neighbor. Or maybe his son is sick, so Smith spent the night before at the hospital taking care of his son, right? Or whatever issue he has. Because you know, we are all struggling with something every day. But this boss doesn't care about it. He just killed Smith's mental health. Because you know, he doesn't have money, his son is sick, and now his work is in danger. Can Smith feel happy at work? Not at all. Not at all. Now, here's what a true leader will behave in this situation. Smith, you've been late to work for 3 days in a row. Are you okay? Is everything all right? There's anything I can do? You know, most of the times we cannot do anything about our employees' issues, but just asking, just offering help changes everything. Because you know, Smith now can feel that he matters. He can now feel that his company cares for him. His leaders care for him. Smith now feels that he is important. And that's how a true leader should behave in this kind of situations. The true job of a leader is not telling people what to do, but to build a healthy environment in which people can feel safe, trustful, and inspiring. So, what is to be inspiring leader? We found that an inspiring leader has three main attributes. One of them is great leaders also have a great heart. They care for their team as much as they care for the results. They also are passionate about their job, and they bring joy, energy, and optimism to the team. They are always asking to the people how they feel instead of telling them what to do. Great leaders are great listeners. They listen to the people's needs. They have developed the ability to transform that needs into powerful solutions for the people. And great leaders also have a great vision, but not only the vision for the business, but the vision for every single member of the team. They see how people can get, how far they can get, and they let everybody know the potential they have to accomplish the business purpose and their own purpose in life. I can see you way beyond from where you are right now. Leaders inspire. When leaders become more human, their people become more leaders. Leaders multiply leaders. Leaders become inspiring and inspire other people in order for the people to inspire others. And that's how leadership comes true. Can we sing? Are you ready? Come on, let's go! Thank you! Did you know that this very song, Viva la Vida from Coldplay, is scientifically proven as one of the most optimistic and uplifting songs ever? Did you feel it?
Yeah.
It's amazing what the song makes to our body. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Then we have the relationship with our coworkers, trust and cooperation. The problem with trust and cooperation is that they're not instructions, they're feelings. You cannot command someone to trust each other because that doesn't work that way. The thing is, these modern days, we don't get to find the right space to share meaningful moments with the ones we work. Forgetting to ask this simple but powerful question: how are you doing today? Today's narrative is me, you. As Simon Sinek says, we have an entire book section in our bookstores called self-improvement, but we have no section about how to help each other. And that's the point, that's the main key. And it's not that hard, because kindness is part of our system. It's deep grounded in our genes. Actually, our body rewards us when we're kind. When you help someone, you feel good about it. When you help someone, that someone feels good about it. When you help someone and others are watching, they feel good about it. That is called oxytocin, time and energy. Our brain loves time and energy spent on us. That's why we build through relationship with our coworkers. Great teams also give each other support. It sounds easy. It is not. Great teams may not be family, might not be connected or related by blood, but they care for each other as if they were a family. That's what builds great teams. That's what friendship is called. And we all love friendship inside the workplace. In fact, some studies shows that friendship at work is a very strong bond when a person can decide if to leave their job or not. Some people don't leave their job because they have friends. And then we have, last but not least, the relationship with ourselves. The way we think of ourselves and the way we see the world around us, our very own mindset. Create, build happiness at work from our own perspective. We need to work in our habits. Working out, eating your veggies, it's not just good for your body, it's also good for your brain. The better you do for your body, the better your brain responds when you have to face challenges in the everyday life. The emotional habits. Someone said once that if we treat each other the way we treat ourselves, we will have no friends. We are so hard on ourselves every day. We need to start to develop a better and a healthier relationship with ourselves. It's very important for you to be aware of the contents you're consuming and the time you spend swiping on TikTok. Do you consume the content or does the content consume you? Very, very important. The moment you develop a good relationship with your boss, then you will have a good relationship with your coworkers. And when you have a good relationship with your boss, then you have a good relationship with your coworkers, and lately you will have a good relationship with yourself. Because this environment starts to reshape your mindset for good. And that environment is what we call culture. All the companies has culture, whether by design or by default. So you better work on your workplace culture, or your workplace culture is going to destroy your work, right? This is called being happy to be happy, because you cannot be happy unless you make others happy too. It's not about to be happy, it's about to be happiness, to spread joy and make those around you feel happy too. So I asked you this question at the beginning, right? Are you happy at your job? Luis Gallardo says, yes, of course, because he owns the word happiness fast. But you know, the answer to this question, it's another question. Are you happiness at your job? Because that's the way you build your happiness inside the workplace. Giving help, staying there when someone needs your help, is ultimately going to bring us happiness at work.
We are one of a kind, irreplaceable. How did I get so blind and so cynical? And if there's love in this life, we're unstoppable. No, we can't live defeated. Mother will be broken to say I was true with open. Wednesday, my empty eyes were open. Thursday, the stars today is Friday. I'm burning looking fine, go wild on Saturday.